All right, so this is a whole introduction on a new series or promotion I'm working on. Bear with me. Things won't be organized. It's just gonna be uploaded until I get it structured and organized, right? So, um, there's several things I kind of just want to address, um, like certain things I'll be posting. Like I have Instagram for fitness, before now later, some charity thing I'm working on, and then I'll be uploading things on Twitter, like in injustice, or bringing exposure, like we're bringing light where darkness is, trying to bring that out. All this stems out to really help Haiti, but not only that, to use myself to fight, as an expression. So I'm using myself to express, like a symbol. So this series, that's why I call it MotionPrints. So it's originally started as walking print, then it stemmed from me walking around the library, right? And learning how to, first I started standing, then I started walking, then now I started sitting down. So it's kind of like, all this stemmed from me, us, like narrowing down to finally getting to this point where now I could talk to you guys and talk as a form of expression, a symbol, motion print. So today's lesson is gonna be interesting. It's about the self. So when we talk about the self, it's like you have people who are very religious and you have people who are spiritual. So I would say both practices could do these. Before I even get to what I'm going on studying, there's a thing called 6-phase meditation, right? That's the main thing to really focus on about this. 6-phase meditation is basically where a guy named Vaken Lakely, I don't really know his name, I gotta go back and search, but he kind of studied different religions and whatnot, and he came to a conclusion on they all had similar practices, and with all those practices he grabbed 6 points. I believe there's more, but just to keep it simple, right? There's compassion, forgiveness, blessings, perfect day. Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? Like visualizing that. And then love, compassion, meditations, right? So usually I've been doing this since college, right? My junior year when I went to FIU, and I noticed that it made a big difference, made a big change, and I thought it was something very useful. So then in my neuropsychology class, neuroscience, we learned about sensations and perceptions, basically how we perceive the world, and then intake information, top down, bottom up processes, whatever you want to call that. Yep. And that, like, some the very particular chapters focused on me, and it was basically talking about the eye. So think of like batteries, like for anything to work, like phones, gaming, computers, mobile PCs, like it needs to be charged to be at its full capacity. So I feel like us humans is nothing different. So when, I guess back then people watch sunset and sunrise when the sun was like reddish, oranges. I'm gonna tell y'all boys a lot, but in simplest form. So, but basically how sun gazing, when you look into the sun, different like refraction, convex, like how it hits the lens, and then like hits their retina, which is like behind your eye. You could say that. And doing it for a period around the time, it can relieve depression, right? So I kind of do this with grounding. There's this thing called Schumann resonance frequency. It's like 9.83 hertz. It's like grounding. Usually people want to listen to this to get grounded. They put their feet in the ground, and it kind of like relieve depression or any like emotional distress that you've been facing. You'll never really catch me slipping again, like bothered. Yeah, so that as well as sun gaze, I just felt like was the ultimate combination, and ever since that, just things just been going on, which brought me to kind of use this platform to express that. Gang and GTA. Yes sir. But alright, so let's get it going. So we're gonna start off with God damn.
Let's now take a look at the base.
We don't care about that, cool. Alright, to get that, we're gonna have to screen. Gotta go back. Yeah, I don't, if you see my tabs, I don't study much besides the stocks. Stocks. Everything is stocks for me. And now I kind of just expression with this. But, yeah, so let's lock in and see what they hollering about, and I'll break it down for you as we go through. Yes, sir.
Eye in this video, that is how the eye focuses light onto the retina to give a clean and crisp image on the retina at the back of the eye, and how the different parts of the eye contribute to this process. Now, we've looked at the parts of the eye in a previous video. That video was on the iris reflex. So let's just label it up again. Now, this is an eye taken in cross section. Here we go. They're all going up. Now, the parts of the eye we're really interested in this video are this one, the lens. That's this object here. And these ones, the suspensory ligaments, that's these things here. Now, these will make a circle, a complete orbit all around the lens here. I'll try to indicate this way because it goes above it, but I'll show that in 2 dimensions here. And the ciliary muscle, by the ciliary body, which controls the ciliary muscle. These are the bits which will do things. Other bits which will become important in the story will be the yellow spot over here, and this is the part of the retina which has the highest density of cones, and so we want to be focusing the central corneal corneas on the fovea. The light sensitive cells at the back of the eye, those cells which detect light, turn light energy into electrical impulses. They transduce the energy. Other things we can think about: the vitreous humor, that's the jelly-like stuff, this area here, and the cornea. Great.
So he's gonna basically talk about how the ciliary muscles use different angles to bring in light, right? Okay. Boom.
And it gets as far as the cornea.
Just the cornea.
Will refract that light slightly.
So it bends.
At an angle, and you know what, I'm going to get these angles wrong here. And then that will, the lens will also refract light, and then
It towards your retina.
so we get
I'll explain what retina is in further detail, but we're gonna start with the basic of the eye.
that way. And the cornea starts off
Gang,
this
gang.
process by bending, refracting the light as it comes into the eye. But the cornea is fixed. The shape of the cornea does not, or I should say, should not change. And therefore, it is of great use when you're thinking about focusing light from an object at a different distance away from you. Just quickly, I want to highlight items that are not involved in focusing, and in particular this one here, the iris iris is in no way involved in focusing the light. The iris is the colours of someone's eye. You said sort of brown haze.
Right. So like the iris is like when you see people eye color. So for example, my eye color is brown. Ooh. So that's what that is.
So here's what I want you to do is I want you to look at the screen, and then I want you to look out the window or something far away and look at a tree. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're on the Serengeti, gazing at wildebeest as they majestically sweep across the grassland. Maybe you are on top of a tower block somewhere and you can look out and see the far horizon.
That's my first time doing that. That's crazy.
This screen, and then look at someone far away, and then look back at the screen. Now your eye has done something astonishing and remarkable as it has done.
So it brings in different, looking further or looking close, bringing more light. So it's not just, so with sun gazing, it's not just about looking at the sun.
How much it refracts or bends the light that comes into the eye.
Right.
In order to focus a clean and crisp image onto your retina.
How much you can bring in, pretty much.
This image at the top here shows what the eye does when the objects are far away. If an object is far away, light will come in parallel rays, close to parallel rays. Now, if the rays are coming in parallel, we want to focus them in on this point here at the back. But we don't have to bend them that much as they come in. In fact, the cornea here will do that refraction for us. The shape of the cornea will focus light really nicely that comes in parallel rays. It'll focus it onto the retina and we'll get a nice and clean image. So when the object is far away, our lens here does not need to be fat. We don't want too much refraction going on at the lens. So we describe the lens as being thin.
How do you make the lens thin?
Convex, bulgy. Okay, great. That's what happens when the object is a long way away. But what about when the object is close? Here we have a close object, and you can see that the rays are divergent coming off that object. And if we want to focus those rays back to be convergent to the back of the eye, we've got to bend this light or refract this light. This is the process of accommodation. How does the eye do this? When you look away to those wildebeest and, did the amazing sort of because I was actually watching wildebeest. Oh, it won't happen like that. But when you were looking at those wildebeest, then you looked back at this screen here, you will see the light from this screen here has to be bent a great deal more to get it to the focal point at the back of your eye. Now the cornea will contribute towards this. It will refract the light, but now we also need refraction to be done by the lens. And because we need more refraction, we need the lens to be thicker.
What do you do to make the lens thicker? What do you do to make the lens thicker?
What's a cool 15 as it is these days? People with really poor eyesight who really needed to refract had big, thick glasses so that they would refract that light. So the glasses would refract that light all the more to get a nice clean image of the back of their eye. So a larger, wider, fatter, or indeed more convex, let's write that down here, more convex lens leads to greater refraction and it will bring these light rays back together to that focal point. How do we achieve this wider lens? That is done by these chaps here. These are here.
So when looking at the eye, the goal is really hitting the veins. The veins is not really near the blind spot, like in the direct line of the eye. It's like kind of coming towards the front. So like you see where his lens is, where he drew the arrows on the bottom eye.
I tell you, flex, and you will find that your right bicep bulges up nicely like this huge bicep.
He's flexing it.
Yours is every bit as defined as this. Now, what does that do? That means that
You see where the arrows on the bottom is? Think about where those veins, I guess nerve endings, that's what they call it. So when you look at the eye, that's where the majority of the veins are. They're not where the back is. They're towards the lens, like in the middle point, where the arrows are.
These suspensory ligaments here become slacker. Because the two endpoints is now shorter, they become slacker, and therefore they pull less on the lens. So the lens therefore retracts back this way and becomes bulgier as it does so. Whereas here, our suspensory ligaments are tight. And therefore they're pulling on the lens, they're pulling the lens that way. And as they pull the lens that way, they stretch it out, they make it feel less convex. And that is how it does it. This is a box I think you should try to remember. Object distance, sensory muscles, blah, blah, blah. And the counterintuitive point that you're going to need to remember here is that in order to pull the lens to a narrow, thinner shape for far objects, you relax the muscle. That's going to be the weird counterintuitive thing that's going to catch you out and catch me out, etc., etc. But it's because of this effect of tightening or slackening the suspensory ligaments by moving bulgy contracting muscles with a near object, relaxed flat muscles for a far object. Well, I hope that's helped. It's not just random squiggles on a page. If it is, too much time. But otherwise, let us know about those wonderful wildebeest. Hello.
Alright. So, yeah, like I said, it is all going to be based on educational purposes only. It's something I'm doing for myself, working on myself. It's to your own disclaimers. Just doing me, bro. I'm trying to, like I said, work on expressing myself in GTA and trying to make sure I do everything right. Like, not trying to do wrong, I guess you could say. There's a lot of factors like that motivate me to do this. Excuse me. Some things I want to say is there was the Black Panthers, Triple K. When to shut down Triple K, they packed their stuff in the closet, put it in the closet, move forward. Black Panthers, riots, arrested. They had to stop doing that, get booted. There's me, bro, the walking print, and I'm working on making an impact, and there's just the intro for it. Gang, thanks, appreciate you. Yes, sir.